everyone, as the people over on Fable's usual YouTube, he loves Transformers.
Hold on, for some reason my OBS isn't catching this. Oh, there we go. Never mind.
There you
Continue.
go.
There you go.
Honestly,
Hello everyone, it's me, Fable, your new best friend. Mech's mean to me, guys.
oh my god.
Sharkticons? I've actually never heard of this type of Autobot before.
Oh, it's not an
Well, sorry,
Autobot.
Transformer. I know, I meant Transformer. That's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll head into this. If I remember correctly, they're from the Transformers of the movie. Anyway, I really just want a good Transformers game like we got with War for Cybertron, where we could play multiplayer and make our own like Autobots and Decepticons. That would be so fun. But the cowards. Alright, see you later, coming. The cowards, they won't let us have it, Fable. They won't let us. Eventually, I'll watch all the videos Fable has been doing. But then again, I also have to get Met and Fable eventually to watch some other stuff, so yeah. We'll look at some other stuff eventually. Oh, and then I suddenly change PNGs on Fable stream and he doesn't even know what's happening.
Sorry, my family was talking to me.
No, that's fine.
What were you saying about
Listen,
potatoes?
not about potatoes, I said PNGs.
Ah, okay.
Anyway. And then I suddenly change PNGs when Fable's not looking. Anyway. We're going to head into this. If you like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff you do for wonderful streamers if you'd love to see more.
Guys, just tell me what kind of Transformer you like, because someone the other day told me they really like Cliff Jumper. And I agree he is best boy, but at the same time, I feel so bad because he gets screwed over in so many continuities.
On another note, I am going to be looking
Why?
into a new, well, I'm looking into a new comic series called Tin Can Man. I'm going to see what it's like, and then I will review it hopefully and give you guys information on it.
Later, Tom, and take care, bud.
Yeah, I told him later, but yeah, we'll head into this and see what's going on. Honestly, if 40K really wanted people to get into the lore, they would just have YouTubers, like commission YouTubers to make videos about it.
But Matt, that requires them to actually give people money instead
I
of,
know.
having all the money to themselves. That's not allowed.
Gosh dang, British company. I know.
Am I wrong,
I know.
sadly? I'm
I know.
not.
I know.
Sucks.
I know you're not.
We're going to need a bigger boat for this week's episode as we take a look at the basics on the savage Sharkticons.
Sharkticon!
The Sharkticons were created for 1986's The Transformers the
Yes, can you
movie.
pause it?
They were the servants of the
They look like
evil
piranhas to
alien
me.
Quintessons, an army of identical...
Oh. Fable had to leave. They have little spiked tails. That's actually kind of cool. Little robots. I do know in the original G1, like, the Quintessons apparently made the Transformers. Which, yeah, that's a thing. Something that I'm going to have to look for eventually. Anywho, how should I put this? What's the word? God damn it.
Sorry.
Anyway. Ready? Fable? There you go. Well, on that note, I hope you're all doing a wonderful day. We love Transformers over here. We love to react to these. And I didn't know originally this dude actually runs or is an editor for the Transformers Wiki. That's a nice little bit of knowledge. Also, we will eventually be making more comic videos. They just take time, unfortunately. A lot of time we do not have. So, we'll see how it goes one way or another. I have actually a bunch of friends we're working on a thing, more or less. Either way, let's...
Hey, sorry about that. My family is just like, hey, there's ducks on top of the roof. Go check them out. I'm like, okay.
There's ducks on top of the roof?
Yeah, there's like 3 ducks on top of my house.
Oh, well then.
I don't know what they're doing there. They're just hanging out. They're
Uh,
adorable.
Alright.
They were the servants of the evil alien Quintessons, an
Yeah.
army
Not the
of identical,
Quintessons.
voracious,
Yeah.
simple-minded
The
robots.
Quintessons
who
look
transformed
horrifying
into
to me with the
shark-like
just
monsters,
multiple faces
used
on
by
a
the
single bone.
Quintessons to execute their victims by eating them,
Oh no.
in the style of criminals
Yeah.
being thrown to the lions in ancient Rome. This
Yeah.
was the fate that almost befell Autobots Hot Rod and Cup when they ran afoul of the Quintessons, until the Dinobots came to their aid, and the
Oh.
imposing Dinobot leader Grimlock convinced the Sharkticons to turn on the Quintessons instead. However, the rebellion proved to be
Grimlock.
short-lived,
Yeah,
as the
of
subsequent
course he did.
third
I do kind of love that they're just like turn to each other and then they immediately form a mob and run up to them.
Oh, Grimlock is king after all, so it made sense.
Oh my god.
season of the Transformers cartoon would show the Sharkticons back under Quintesson control
Ah,
again,
damn.
serving not just as executioners, but as warriors and commandos sent into battle and on missions.
Commandos. Oh my lord.
Like most of the
Oh.
new characters created
Oh,
for the movie, the
they had a toy.
Sharkticons were
Heck,
designed for
heck, I want
animation
that toy.
first.
You
by
want this
artists.
toy?
It's so silly looking. Like it's so silly. I want it.
Well, I'm sure there's someone out there that would be happy to give you one, Fable.
Look at it. It's just like a little guy. It's so silly. Like all of its proportions don't make any sense. I love it.
Yeah? I mean, he is just a little guy. Anyway.
Floro Deary, whose drawings were then used as the basis for a toy. The
Yeah,
opposite
first the
of how
design was
Transformers
made.
characters were normally designed at the time, as the toy usually came first. The toy was sold as a Decepticon, despite the
Oh.
Sharkticons not actually being a part of that faction in media. Specifically, it was marketed as an individual Sharkticon named Gnaw.
Gnaw
though
isn't
the
a bad
commercial
name.
advertising the toy made
No, it
clear
fits
that the
perfectly
figure was
for,
really
them.
one of the Transformers line's first deliberate army builders.
Oh.
A toy kids could buy multiples of to build up their own Sharkticon swarm.
I get it. It's one of those cheap toys that you can buy a lot of to make their little swarm.
I mean, I know it's kind of silly, but honestly, back in the day, like during Gen 1's era and stuff like that, this was actually really cool content. Sadly, nowadays, a lot of cartoons we get whenever they get toys are kind of ass. So
Yeah.
I don't blame them for wanting to make like a miniature army of Sharkticons.
I can understand. Also, if our thing that we're making with all of our friends and whatnot ever gets toys, everyone gets one of their character. That's the thing I'll write in the contract with the toy company. Like, if somehow it gets big enough to where we get toys, you know, everyone gets one.
You also need to write Fable gets a Sharkticon army.
Why?
Because I want Sharkticon. They're adorable. I can have them
God.
beat up Potato.
Oh my god. Why not just make your own Sharkticon?
Don't tempt me.
Oh my god.
The Sharkticons didn't
They do look a
appear
little silly.
in the Marvel comic book published in the US, outside of one out-of-continuity issue that adapted the cartoon episode, the big broadcast of 2006. But they did feature in stories exclusive to the United Kingdom's version of
Oh.
the series, appearing
course.
exactly as they had in the film and cartoon. Servants of the Quintessons, who almost devoured the Junkion Wreck-Gar after he was captured by the
Wreck-Gar.
aliens.
Damn.
And indeed, the Sharkticon's role in the world of the Transformers has remained pretty much unchanged in the 35 years since their
surprising.
introduction. When the Quintessons turn up in a new Transformers series,
Ooh,
the
some of them
Sharkticons
look
will
quite a bit
usually
different.
follow in comics, animation, video games, and more. Some notable
it,
stories have included Dreamwave
Is it
Productions.
kind of sad to think that they weren't actually adapted in what do you call it? Transformers Cybertron? Was that the one? It was the one after Armada because that one
Oh,
Quintesson was
Energon.
using the
Yeah, they
Energon,
were
there you go.
using the Predacons, but they weren't using
Yeah.
the Sharkticons, yeah.
They could have added that as like a bit of a basis because they had like land, sea, and air. They had land and air. Could have had something for the land. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity. To me
Maybe.
as well.
Maybe so.
Actions comic books, which gave Gnaw his first appearance in media as an individual, introducing him as a damaged Sharkticon separated from his pack, who was befriended by the young Autobot Wheelie.
Oh, nice.
And IDW Publishing's comics, which featured packs of Sharkticons over which the Quintessons had lost control, including a swarm of wild Sharkticons encountered by Megatron on the planet Junkion, and a huge army of them that had been enslaved by the Junkions themselves, who used them to attack Earth until the Decepticons' Soundwave convinced the Sharkticons to turn on their oppressors. And there have been several new Sharkticon
new toys
based closely on their original designs, including figures.
That one's a little worse, to be honest. I love the original. This one's funnier, though.
Because he's got his arms on his legs.
As his arms on his legs and his hands are literally legs. It's hilarious. They completely changed everything around.
Yeah.
In 2016's Titans Return toy line, and in 2021 as part of the Studio series line.
The Studio
That
now.
one's perfect, though.
Under the individual name Gnaw.
Well, I guess you can probably find the Studio one
But
somewhere,
as with
Fable.
most everything in the Transformers universe,
expensive.
there have been a few new takes on the Sharkticons
Sure,
over the years as well. The first was in 2004's Transformers
Okay, so they
Energon,
were here.
which used the name Sharkticon to refer to an individual Transformer
I
rather
see.
than a species.
That was the reference.
Energon Sharkticon was a Decepticon who transformed into a shark-themed warship who had a personality so cruel and personal hygiene so bad that even his fellow Decepticons avoided
How do you
him.
have personal
He
hygiene?
didn't appear in the Energon cartoon, but was briefly featured in the Energon comic book. An exclusive recolor of the Energon Sharkticon toy in classic Sharkticon colors was released through official convention BotCon in 2010. Sold in a 3-pack, these toys represented upgraded versions of the Quintesson Sharkticons, led into battle by the Sharkticon General, Skybite.
Skybite the Sharkticon General.
Now, in the original animated series, the Quintessons were the creators of the Transformer race, so it was taken as read that they had created the Sharkticons as well. However, in the 21st century, Transformers lore has grown and changed, and today, virtually all new series depict Primus, the God of Light, as the Transformers creator. So, with the Quintessons no longer treated as the makers of robot life, it became necessary to give the Sharkticons a new origin.
What's their new one?
In the 2004 guidebook, Transformers: The Ultimate Guide, which introduced the idea that the Sharkticons were the native inhabitants of another planet that the Quintessons had conquered and enslaved.
It
would be a decade before this idea would be explored in any other media, but eventually, the 2014 Transformers Prime tie-in novel, Retribution, dived more deeply into this new modern origin, establishing that the Sharkticons were Transformers from a Cybertronian colony on the ocean planet of Aquatron. When Aquatron was invaded by the Quintessons, they brainwashed the Sharkticons into their loyal servants, turning them into an army that they then used to launch an attack on Cybertron, led by the one Sharkticon with free will, the great general Tyrannicon. The invasion was thwarted when Megatron was able to obtain the device the Quintessons were using to control their army, an artificial Sharkticon matrix, and integrated it into his body, giving him command
this
of
is
the
Sharkticon
and
Megatron,
transforming him into a Sharkticon-like form, a figure of which was released in the Prime toy line.
So weird.
Seeking to regain control of his army, Tyrannicon soon wrestled the Matrix away from Megatron, but he and it were then destroyed by the giant rampaging Quintesson Citybot, the Hydratron, leaving the surviving Sharkticons finally free from control.
Nice.
A handful of Decepticon
look at this. What do you think of this one?
would later appear in Prime's 2015 sequel series.
You don't like the teeth? I thought you would like the teeth.
Including the pirate Hammerstrike and the scientist Ragebite, who transformed from shark-like robot modes into submarines. The idea of the Sharkticons
Oh.
healing from their own planet was also featured in the
Oh, there's two forms of
Transformers Cyberverse
Sharkticons.
cartoon in 2019.
I'm pretty sure he just drew gang
In this
signs. I don't know
series,
how to
I think
feel
he
about
did.
this.
Sharkticon's world was destroyed under unknown circumstances, and the surviving Sharkticons split into 3 rival gangs: the Fins, the Tails, and the Snouts,
The
who fought for
Snouts.
occupation of the chunks of planet that remained. After stumbling into their territory, Autobots Bumblebee, Hot Rod, and Cheetor were pulled into their turf war,
Cheetor!
but were able to bring the fighting to an end by using the power of the life-giving Allspark to restore the Sharkticons' world. However,
Nice.
when they next appeared, the Sharkticons had been subjugated by the Quintessons,
Oh,
and served
great.
as the aliens'
Jesus.
foot soldiers during
Yeah.
their invasion of Cybertron. A figure of the Sharkticons' leader, Lord Gnaw, was
Lord
released in the
Gnaw.
Cyberverse toy line, as well as a
Lord
multi-pack
Gnaw
of
finally
3
got
smaller
his dues,
Sharkticon
Mac.
figures.
He's gotten a few.
They haven't changed much over the years, but whether Quintesson slaves or their own independent bots, a single individual or a ravenous swarm, the Sharkticons will always make the Transformers afraid to go back in the water.
Yeah.
And those are the basics on the Sharkticons. If you've enjoyed this look at Transformers history and lore, don't forget to subscribe for more. You can get early access to new videos if you support the show on Patreon.
So, Fable, what did you think of the Sharkticons?
I love them.
I know you
They're
did.
silly looking.
And I need to get more Transformers video down the line. But thank all of you for stopping by. If you like our stuff, if you like what we're doing here, please do consider subscribing, following, doing all that stuff, and check out my Patreon where we watch many things, all kinds of things.
Everyone should get me a null freaking toy for reasons. I need to make my own army and put it into 40k. And then piss off a bunch of people and be like, listen, I'm a furry and I'm about to piss you all off.
But I thought you
That's
hate
great.
furries.
Yeah, I know, but I'm also going to use it to my advantage.
Well, Fable, you don't even like furries.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, I think that's enough reacting for one day, but I'll get on those other reactions you guys wanted to after I take a nap. So, once again, thank you all so much, and if you'd like to see more, follow over here on Twitch. It really helps a lot, and you can catch my streams live. I do that over here on Twitch. I forgot I'm still recording, but yes, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.